Time to get a large pot heated up on a medium heat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get crack-a-lacking. So what we have here is 1 handful of fresh parsley, 3 carrots, and 3 sticks of celery, 1 head of cabbage, and roughly a pound of snap green beans, 1 yellow onion, 1 green bell pepper, 6 cloves of garlic, 3 baking potatoes, an 8-ounce pack of sliced mushrooms, and 2 to 3 pounds of beef stew meat. Now I call it beef stew meat because that's actually how it's cut at my local grocery store, but it's really just a roast that's been cut into chunks. So if you can't find beef stew cuts of meat, just pick you up a roast and cut it yourself. Okay, so first we're going to season this meat with some kosher salt. Get a top layer of kosher salt there. There we go. Next we will add some coarse black pepper. Just another good generous layer of seasoning on the top right here. And once we do this, we're going to go ahead and mix it up with our hands so that every part of the meat is seasoned. There we go. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Seasoned beef. Let's move on. Okay, so we're going to cut all of this, except the mushrooms. We'll leave those sliced like they are. But for now, let's go ahead and chop this onion, bell pepper, and garlic. Choo! Hiya! This might not be that bad of a mess. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back over to our pot. We're going to drop in 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And we're going to move the pot around so that it coats evenly. Now we're going to add in the beef. Woohoo! Get that moved around. Okay, so we're just looking to brown this beef right here for a little bit. And if some browning forms on the bottom of the pot, that's a good thing. We're going to add all the onions in after we remove the beef, and it's going to pull it all up. That's what we call the goodness. All right, so I'm going to check on that periodically. But for now, back over to my prepping area. I'm going to get cutting on this right here. Okay, so for these potatoes, I have washed them. They have dried. I'm going to go ahead and peel them, cut them into large chunks. Also, with the celery and carrots, I will cut into large chunks, but I'm not going to peel the carrots. I'm going to leave the skin on because there's a lot of nutrients in the skin of a carrot. As far as the parsley goes, I'm going to fine chop it. And then the cabbage, well, I'll show you what to do with that in a second. And there you go. So for now, we're going to put this in a container off on the side. All right, on to this cabbage. So the first thing I do is remove these outer layers right here. I mean, you could probably use them, but they're very flimsy and might not be the best texture in the soup. Okay, so from here, I'm going to cut it into 4s, right here at the stem. All right, from here, I'm going to take my knife and cut right down this angle right there. That way I can get rid of this center part, you know, the heart of the cabbage, which tends to be the tougher part of the cabbage. And there we go. All right, so now I'm just going to cut all of this into some large pieces. And the rest of our vegetables are done. All right, so the beef has actually created somewhat of a broth here, which is great. We're going to go ahead and saute our onion and bell pepper in that. But for now, we're removing it into this bowl off on the side. And it's okay if you see a little bit of red still on the meat. It's going to get cooked down even more in the soup. So everything will be all right. Drop in those chopped vegetables. Shake, shake, shake. Got to scoop some of that out. Go ahead and stir that around. So we're going to want to saute this probably for about 25 minutes. So that way these vegetables can get very soft. Okay, so this looks really good right here. At this time, we're going to pour in a little bit of a 32-ounce container of beef broth that we have. I'm just gonna try to break up the bottom with a little bit of liquid. Like that, you see that? Now we'll add the rest of the beef broth. There we go. Next, go ahead and add the beef that we seared earlier. There we go. Get in there. All right, we got all of it. Just gonna blend that in there. Okay, next we are adding two 46-ounce containers of a tomato/vegetable juice. Now you can go with just tomato juice if you want, but I go with the mix. Bam. And the other one. So just to let you guys know, I did shake these really good before pouring them in. Also, this one right here is a spicy blend. So I'm kind of excited about that. Let's mix this around. All right, to this pot we are adding 1 tablespoon of Cajun, or Creole seasoning, whichever your choice. And 2 bay leaves. Mix that around. Okay, now we're gonna add the vegetables in. Start off with these mushrooms, the green beans, and the rest of this mamma jamma. Whew. That is quite the monstrosity. Well, we got all of it again. Let's get this down. So look, this is gonna look like an overflow of vegetables here. But the thing is these vegetables hold a lot of water themselves. And they're actually gonna create their own broth in the soup as all of it cooks down. All right, let's raise our heat and bring it up to a slight boil here. And there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and cover this up and lower our fire to a simmering heat. And we'll let this cook for 1 hour. All right, the 1 hour is up. Woo-hoo. This smells so good. Let's give this a nice stir. Oh yeah, look at that. This is just one hearty soup, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so at this point we're gonna add in a 12-ounce bag of frozen corn. Stir that around. All right, we're gonna cover this up and let that simmer for 1 more hour. Here we go. Woo-hoo. Man, what'd I tell y'all? I told y'all broth was gonna be created by all these vegetables. Look at this though. This is the ultimate beef and vegetable soup. Well, I tell you what, this is loaded down with some goodness. So if you're not feeling good, this is what you need to eat right here. I think it's time to bowl up. This has been sitting here for a good hot minute, literally, and it's still steaming. That just goes to show you how hot it is once the soup is actually done. Man. We gotta get a bite. Just don't wanna burn my tongue. Get a good bite here. Oh, perfect. Some meat and some mushroom. My mouth is watering. Here we go. It's such a savory soup. All these vegetables bring about their own flavor to the soup. So as it cooks down, they make their own broth and it just all comes together. It's so good. So rich. And I also use the spicy tomato juice. So if you guys like a hint of spice in your soup, I suggest giving it a try because it has a little kick to it, but it's not bad. Like it kind of gets you a little bit in the back of the throat, then it's gone. Not like a hot pepper where you eat it and it's there for like minutes and minutes and minutes. This is really good. So look, you guys might have seen this dish in the past. I decided to enhance it a little bit, make it a little bit better, improved. I also used pasta in the past, which you can still do that, but I'd maybe dial back one of the potatoes. You know, too much starch up in here could maybe thicken it, or you know, the pasta and potato will soak up a lot of the flavor, so it could dull it out too. But all in all, it's really good. This is the time of year where you want to throw down some of this. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. We done knocked that out. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you give this a try, if you haven't already. But other than that, I got nothing else for you. I'll see you next time. Paya!